So, some, I think it's pretty cool news. The University of California, Irvine, or UCI, plans to offer Overwatch-based scholarships to prospective students later this year. Uh, Basically, the scholarship is going to be offered as university's wider esports initiative, which was launched last fall, back in 2016, with backing from League of Legends developer Riot Games, which is it's the most, I think, most viewed esport, or like the most popular esport.
I think
right
so.
now,
Worldwide.
I think it used to be like League and Dota were neck and neck, but now I'm pretty sure it's League and Overwatch because Dota's fallen off because League of Legends is superior.
And I'm happy it's Overwatch as the first-person shooter that is the esport of choice and not Call of Duty.
Well, if I think in the FPS genre, people were gonna look for CS:GO.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's a bit more competitive and a bit more.
Well, still, I'm glad Overwatch beats CS:GO because.
Well, actually, it might have. CS:GO is.
I know it's still up there.
Yeah, but I think Overwatch has definitely surpassed it. But yeah, as reported by ESPN, which, just a side note, I think it's hilarious that Buffalo Wild Wings now will play esports, so I can watch Cloud9 fight while getting buffalo wings. And it's just the greatest feeling ever. Not that I can like watch that, because I could be at home and I could watch that on Twitch.
Right.
And like I can eat food for free for doing that. The real entertainment is coming from like big sports dudes with beer guts, or just like their like team uniform, like, oh, roll tide, Alabama. And then they're just like looking at the TV and it's like, is that a video game? Who put that on? And you just sit there and I was like, I did.
It is a nice slap in the face to all the jocks that were just like, that's not gonna.
We're coming for you.
We're coming. We're taking your precious.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time 5 years from now when like me and some nerd buddies are gonna go to Buffalo Wild Wings, get a beer, get some wings, and just watch some League of Legends
or any esport really.
Overwatch, Splatoon, Rocket League.
In fact, let it be Splatoon because that's the most cartoony one out there.
I can't. I'm sorry. I don't know why Splatoon competitive has been such a big thing. It's paintball. It's basically virtual painball.
I know. Can you swim in the paint though? In real life?
Yes. It's not good for you, but you can do it.
No, not the way it works in Splatoon.
You can't become a squid.
Anyway.
So yeah, as ESPN shared, those selected for the Overwatch program will receive yearly financial aid for $2,500 to help cover tuition fees and other costs.
Wow.
Which
it's not.
It's not. Well, okay, if you...
This is not exactly a college football scholarship. Let's just put it that way.
No, but I do know people who I went to school with who got football scholarships, and some of them didn't cover, like they weren't full rides, and they gave them, like, it's still under, like, a physical sport.
Right.
Scholarship, but it's something.
Yeah.
And... That'll
actually start
with. I don't know how popular the University of California, Irvine, is, but like Tennessee Tech, for tuition, I think for a year was like a little bit under $8,000, and if you have, they don't have the Hope in other states.
No, but I'm sure they've got some.
I'm sure other states have something like that, but yeah, like in Tennessee, we have the Hope Scholarship, which is basically like $4,000. I think it's a year, not semester.
Florida has something called Bright Futures. I mean,
I'm sure, yeah.
there's
So
all
California's
kinds of
probably
stuff.
got something. But yeah, to cover tuition fees, selected applicants will be expected to dedicate 15 to 20 hours a week to esports training sessions, team meetings, competitions, community service, and other such projects. Which we were joking about that before we started talking about. I was like, oh no, I have to play 20 hours of video games.
You mean your term paper's going to be late? That's okay.
Yeah, and
you're
like,
on the school team.
With like colleges recognizing esports as like an actual, competition, they're gonna have to start giving like esports players the same kind of like what's the word I'm looking for?
Recognition, treatment.
Yeah, the same treatment that like sports, like baseball players, basketball players, football players, the stuff that they get. Because when I was in college, in my smaller classes, with like 20 or 30 people, the professor would always say, if you're in softball or soccer or football, like if you want to talk to me about getting an extension on your due date, that's fine. So esports players, I'm sure we'll be able to get that. Also, some people might think that 15 to 20 hours is like a very long time to be playing something, even like a week. It's really not. And honestly, you're probably going to be putting in more with Overwatch, because with team games like that, where you have like different roles, such like healers, tanks, burst damage, long range damage, utility champions, like in League, teams practice like all the time. They fight against other teams. They'll go into just like, I think, competitive, or they'll do ranked matches together. It's like you have to constantly be practicing, especially with the game's constantly updating. So like champions are getting buffs,
rebalances,
they're being nerfs. The maps might be changing. Certain things about their abilities, or I know in League, like items change all the time. Abilities get nerfed and buffed all the time.
Right.
Passives and stuff like that. So there's a lot that you're gonna have to constantly be updating yourself with, and you also have to have a good team comp, because it's a team game. So you need to have a good set of characters that like can mesh well, or you need to just be gods at playing those characters.
And when you think about it, that doesn't really happen for normal sports games. Baseball hasn't changed in 100 years. Football, soccer,
like
basketball,
like football,
they
like
stay the same.
Like football, yeah, it's like you don't really get like
unless you're.
There's kind of a team mentality, but sometimes it's like, okay, these two people are our main people. They will always have the ball, or always give it to them. Mm-hmm. There's usually like two main people, and like the rest is just like you basically assist them. Yeah, which is like you can't always be doing that, because if someone gets injured and you don't have someone that's just as good as that person to take their place, your team's losing. Which is another thing about esports, is that they have they have second string, and I think they might have third string people. So I think there's like maybe 10 to 12 members on a competitive team. Because just in case like something happens, or like you need like two mid laners, because maybe like one person plays a certain way, the other plays different. That's more League, not Overwatch. But I'm sure Overwatch has similar things like that.
And this is actually not even the first university to do this either.
No. In the UK, Staffordshire University became the first. I guess that's just short for university in the country to offer an esport degree. Although that course is more concentrated with the business of esports.
Right, like business models and how to run an esport, that kind of thing.
Marketing.
How to run an event, because those things are huge. Those things are like Super Bowl events that happen all year long.
I think the World's Championship happened in like an NBA stadium.
Yeah.
And I don't know where, but yeah, it's though. And that's not even including the people watching on Twitch.
Right.
Because there's...
Well, but
you can only fit so many people in a stadium.
That's why, networks like ESPN have, started covering this stuff is because it's so huge.
Yeah, and the money that these people are making is, it's not the same level of money that people are in, physical sports are getting paid, which is stupid amounts of money.
I would say it's more than amateur, though. It's not quite the pro level, but it's more than, say, you playing arena football.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. The teams are
right.
Of course, that's big competitions. That's not including seasonal events, or just maybe there might be baby tournaments just for practice, and they'll get maybe 30 or 50 grand.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of similar to the Smash Brothers competitive scene. People the Smash gods usually make somewhere in the tens of thousands in tournaments.
Yeah. And the other colleges in the U.S. that are doing similar things, University of Utah has its own esports scholarship program. Also, Stevens College, which is an all-women college, but they have an esports scholarship program. I think that's awesome. I really think that's cool.
I think it's really funny. That I found this out recently, that in League of Legends, all the teams, all the main competitive teams in League are all dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for one season, there was a competitive girls team that entered, and I think it was something Angels. And they were basically were the best female competitive League players.
Mm-hmm.
And it's girls can stand up to guys, we can be the best too if we try. And I think they played terrible.
Oh man.
Well, I mean, when you're looking at teams from Korea,
yeah,
and American teams are also really good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who watch esports, a lot of people assume Koreans
dominate always,
because in most video games, Asians always do the best, and it's not necessarily true, because there have been plenty of other League teams that have won worlds.
Look at the speedrunning community. Who's doing speedrunning? It's mostly in the UK and the US. It's not. It doesn't have a big following over in Asia compared to the US and the UK.
Yeah. Also, and
that's hard to do.
These guys have been playing for a long time. I don't know how long that team had been playing, or those girls have been playing.
Right.
But they apparently got just wrecked, and they haven't played in worlds.
They should keep at it. Come on.
I think they quit. Well, because no one's gonna take you seriously if you enter for one season and then you leave.
Right.
You coming back is we're coming back and better than ever. This time we're taking all the boys. Faker can probably 1v4.
But here's the deal. Don't go into if you're an all-girl team or an all-guy team, don't go in there just being we're gonna beat all the girls or we're gonna beat all the guys. How about you just go in?
No guy is thinking I'm gonna beat all the girls, because there's no girls.
Just go in to win, to do your best, and win if you can. Don't make it about. I'm sorry. Don't make it about gender. I can't. Put
most
it
of it's not
way.
a sexism thing. It's really not. It's people just thought that it was funny that the one professional girls team lasted for one season, and then they
then that was it.
They didn't play anymore.
I will say this. I don't. And this is general how I feel about scholarships and colleges. We've got a lot of strong opinions about colleges, as I'm sure you're aware from our off podcast chats, but I don't like the idea of scholarships going towards sports teams. I don't even like the idea of sports teams being part and parcel with academia, with education, because there's not really a whole lot of there's not a whole lot of education that goes on the athletic field. Okay, it is not.
No, it's just so that people don't kill each other.
Exactly.
It's like we don't turn into, it's like we don't just start building Roman Colosseums all around the country and just like, all right, we're gonna take all the inmates from this prison, all the inmates from that prison, just put them in like all the
Be
lines.
like Joker from Dark Knight, just snap a couple pull cues. We've only got one position open for college, and have at it. But I was gonna say, like, if you're going to do this, if you're going to have sports teams and give scholarships to sports teams, you might as well do it for esports. You might as well, because it's athleticism of the brain.
Yeah,
like
and I've actually I've got some friends who are actually on the League of Legends college team at Belmont.
Cool. It's cool that it's happening. It really is. This really, stuff like this really makes me happy that it's coming along the way that it is at this rate too. Very, very quick.
Now all I have to wait for is Minecraft esports.
Who can mine and craft the fastest?
Well, there's actual like mini games now in Minecraft.
Who can build a calculator the fastest? That works.
I won't even try. Someone made a computer. Someone had that much time on their hands.
I think someone put a Game Boy emulator into it.